Parker Ongst,
Hello.
and your other host, me, Atlee Pollock. We have our guest today, my girlfriend, Booker Holloman,
Hi.
and she's our first female on the podcast. So that's your
Resident
title is that.
I'm podcast pussy.
Yeah.
To talk about conspiracy theories.
Hey, no, that's my job. Today we're going to talk about conspiracy theories. And
She's breaking all kinds of records.
Yeah,
it's the first time a guest tried to hostily take over. Oh, well, I guess Proto did that at the end, too.
Proto took over, but I was in no
First female to hostily take over.
Really breaking this gender.
There you go, yeah.
Glass ceiling right there. So we're going to start out with conspiracy theories, and what are your thoughts on chemtrails?
Me?
Yeah.
What aren't my thoughts on chemtrails? Well, they're not real, is my first thought. Anyone disagree with that? Or...
No, but what are chemtrails? Explain to the audience.
Okay, I'm not like super sure, but I'm kind of sure that they're like the airplanes, and then the airplanes have the little clouds that follow them around, and then people think that they're dumping chemicals on the people.
Do you know why those clouds come out of the jets of the airplanes?
No, I don't care. I just know they're not chemicals.
Fun fact, Parker, do you know the reason?
I thought it was like water vapor.
Yeah, it's like heated up water in the engine. And they become clouds.
It's water vapor and a lot of chemicals to turn the frogs gay. That's all I know.
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew it. I was gonna.
See, there you go.
But if you believe,
so funny, Parker.
Thank you.
But if you
really
believe that chemtrails are real and you don't want to be affected by the side effects of chemtrails, there are a couple of things you can do.
Yeah, you wear SPF 50.
You can wear SPF 50. You can spray lemon water into the air. You can spray vinegar into the air. You can wear a tinfoil hat, and you can kill it. So
wait, I'm sorry. Repeat the last one.
You can kill yourself.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought you said. Yeah, I heard that was the most effective.
Okay, so any other conspiracy theories that you want to talk about, Parker?
That I want to talk about? Well, there was always that conspiracy theory that I really enjoyed, which was that aliens are here living among us, right? There was.
Well, you did believe it for a second. They shut down that observatory for a while.
They shut down the observatory. No, I didn't necessarily believe it, but I hoped that it was real.
Oh no!
Right.
They shut down the observatory because there was child porn.
No, I know, but for a solid week, they didn't tell anyone what it was about, and so there was a whole bunch of conspiracy theories saying, oh, they found aliens, and I was like, oh, I hope that's real, right? Because I want to know if there's anything out there in my lifetime, right?
There's definitely stuff out there.
Well, but I would like to know that as a fact rather than, oh, there might possibly be.
I'm pretty sure it's a fact.
But how do you know?
I'm pretty sure it is.
But it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. It's the same thing as people going, I'm pretty sure there's a God, okay? It doesn't work.
I'm pretty sure that's Shazam.
Yeah, see?
In fact, I know there's Shazam.
I'm pretty sure that pigs fly, like... It's the same thing as anyone saying that. Yeah.
Hold on, you negative Nancy's.
Okay, alright.
If, I'm just saying, not to tinfoil hat in this bitch, but I'm pretty sure that's what conspiracy theories are about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, if the government found aliens, there's no frickin' way that they would tell the American population.
Why?
What do you think? Come on. What do you mean, why?
No, I mean, why? Why would the government possibly want to keep that to themselves?
I think because they would destroy religion.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I want to know.
I think religion would fall apart.
Let's go through this. Okay, so...
Wait, when has the government ever cared about religion?
No, but I'm saying social order.
And have you met the Republican Party?
What?
The Republican Party cares about religion so much.
What? Wait, hold on. Yeah, but we switch parties every other year. Who's in control?
Yeah, but what do you happen as the government not?
And that's only in this country. What?
Parker, hold on.
What?
You know how the president is initiated, right? They swear on the Bible.
Yeah, but that's a tradition. I don't think that's I don't think that's a signifying thing that we are all under, huh?
That doesn't matter. If it's significant, it's the Bible, it's the Christian doctrine.
Yeah, but there would have to be a concerted effort by all of the countries in the world to not tell anybody about aliens, and I don't think that's a thing. Like it would be the same argument that people that say we didn't go to the moon would use, right? There'd have to be a concerted effort from all the other countries to say we went to the moon.
No.
Which is just unrealistic.
I think it's unrealistic. Like, I don't really get what... So, let's say the government did tell the American people about aliens. Do you not think that would create, like, a panic at all? You don't think that it would?
No, okay. It depends.
Parker, you're being ignorant now. You're being ignorant now, saying
no,
freak out.
No, it doesn't. It depends on how the message is delivered. Hold on, no. It matters on how the message is delivered, because granted, if some alien just, landed in the backyard of somewhere, right, of course there'd be a panic. But if the government goes, yeah, we found aliens in, 1950, people would be like, oh, well, that's cool.
No,
what does that mean now?
People will go like, what the fuck? Why didn't you tell us?
No, and obviously that's not true, because we've already seen articles saying that there's bacteria living on other planets, which is considered
entirely different.
No, it's not. That's not.
Wait,
that's not the same.
Explain to me a spacefaring alien is entirely different from bacteria.
I don't think so, because they're both life. We're looking for life.
Stupid.
What are you talking about? Again, it depends. It depends on how. It depends on how the message is, because if it is
the response to bacteria and the response to aliens and spaceships are you're
telling me that we're just hold on. We're just talking about aliens. No one said anything. Again, I conceded to you that if the alien landed in a spaceship somewhere in the United States, then yes, there'd be a mass panic. But if we saw in a telescope that there was a faraway civilization, right, we could see onto the planet's surface. Everyone would be like, oh wow, that's cool. Right? Yeah, now, the only problem...
Because religion.
What?
Religion freaks the shit out of people. What? Because God created one species, and that was man.
Right, and there would be arguments about religion, but I honestly do not think that people would look at this information. No.
You're thinking far too rationally.
No. Here's what would actually happen. Here's what would actually happen. Is they go, wow, there's people on that. Well, God made us in our image. They didn't make them in his image or whatever, right?
That's not how people would feel at all.
What are you talking about? That's exactly how it is.
Let me get my point across first, all right? Because you've been chatting up and you've only
you're right.
So let's go through this. So if the government just said, oh my gosh, hey everyone, we found aliens. And by aliens, I'm not talking about bacteria, and I'm not talking about algae, I'm not talking about singular-celled organisms. I'm talking about walking, communicating creatures. There's absolutely no way that everyone would be like, oh, I'm sure everything's cool and fine. There's no way.
No. Look, what would happen is exactly what happens every time they put out a report about space, is that it just gets buried within the news, right? They put out a report from the UC. Hold on. No. Hold on. No, let me finish. There was a report from the UC Berkeley, right? And this UC Berkeley highly accredited scientist said that he believed and that he had quote unquote proof that there was aliens living among us, right? That got buried. Now, granted, if the United States government came, hold on.
Okay.
Now, hold on. If the United States government came out and said this was definitely a thing, people would be like, yes, I agree, it wouldn't be buried, right? But if it was just some scientist that published a paper on it, it would totally be buried, because nobody gives two craps.
If there was a picture?
There's always a picture! There's always a picture!
You saw that black hole? You saw how big of a meme that thing became?
There's always a picture of some flying thing in the air with a really, really shaky camera from someone who apparently has, Alzheimer's or whatever.
And there's a real picture. If there's like a real good, well-taken picture, guess what's gonna happen?
Pictures aren't good
people
enough.
People would be like, wow, that's photoshopped.
Yeah. That's not good
enough. If it's from the U.S. government?
Photographic evidence is not good enough. But, Parker, if you're talking about just articles by some scientist, that's not the same as the government endorsing as scientific fact and well-known fact by our government that aliens are real. Yeah, I could publish an article today, and I go, everyone with blonde hair is an alien.
But you're not an accredited scientist, though.
No, everyone with blonde hair is an Aryan, babe.
Okay. And in other news, God, I can't wait for your apology video.
Sorry, I said Aryan on live stream.
That's never been good enough. If we're gonna talk about accredited scientists saying things that are pretty much known proof, we could talk about like red meat. We could talk about a lot of the plant-based GMOs. We could talk about
whatever environmental scientists.
We could talk about climate change and how the government just goes like some political parties.
Right, but look at that. You're proving my point for me, is that whenever the U.S. government puts out any information, right, it's automatically met with skepticism upon its population. I don't think it's going to turn into a giant frenzy.
The government wouldn't hide it from us. You're also the one saying that they. Oh yeah,
no, I'm saying that it would have to have a concerted effort from every government on the face of the earth to hide this, for it to be hidden from citizens, and that's just not feasible. That's not rational.
That's not true, because if our government, let's say these aliens came onto American soil, there's no way that they would share this information, nor would other governments know. We could make a huge debate that maybe China was the one that found aliens. The only ones who's going to know about it is China. They're not going to tell America. They're not going to tell the rest of the world.
No, they tell everyone, because that's a huge flex on the rest of the world. Look at what our scientists accomplished.
We have that's a huge every single citizen is now a journalist. We have phones that record video. Are you kidding me? China's got a massive population with phones. Are you kidding me?
They also have a regulated internet, you dingus. You can't contact people outside of China in China unless you have a VPN.
Yeah, but the idea that they're going to land in China, the one place that has a regulated internet out of all of the other countries, I don't understand why this whole idea that the aliens realize which countries are the strongest and then land there. Like, why is it always the United States?
Sorry, Parker, is that what I was saying? Because I'm pretty sure that's not what I was fucking saying.
Atlee was talking about how it's going to be hidden from us because they landed in China. I'm saying they could land anywhere.
If they found a fucking thing, if China found a thing, right, they would have, the people of China would have a hard time getting it out to the rest of the world.
You realize we have technology at this point where we know exactly what's going on, what flights are being taken off.
China found something
around the world.
Fucking dingbat.
Wait, hold on. You guys were the ones saying that they landed here, and you were like, well, what if they landed in China?
I'm saying what the Booger said. What if China found them in the sky?
So if it's through a telescope, I don't think anyone would react at all. What useful information is that to China?
Parker, I think you're being really ignorant, and I think you know within your head that that's not true.
I 100% believe it.
You're arguing the other point now. I think you're arguing the other side.
What are you talking about?
Because you're being dumb.
No, my question to you, what rational and strategic information does that give China for China to not share this with the rest of the world?
We're talking about China right now. We're talking about everywhere.
Oh my god. You guys keep changing it. Do you want to talk about everywhere? I can talk about it.
We're talking about the people.
Yes.
And they would
the reaction. I think the reaction would be explosive.
No, I think if someone lands here, sure, it'll be explosive. If it's somewhere distant, off in space, and they find it through a telescope, everyone would be like, "Oh wow, that's cool," and then move on. It would be on the news for literally a week, and then we'd get back to dumping on Donald Trump. That's exactly how that would go.
No offense, no. Agree to disagree.
All right.
Okay. All right, we're moving on. Moving on.
Yeah.
To vaccinations.
Oh my God, yes.
So.
Yes.
Parker, what are your thoughts on the vaccination thing?
They are one of the best scientific discoveries of our time, of previous generations. They have helped save millions of people from disease.
You don't believe
and they cause autism. No. No, I don't believe that they... No, I think they're just...
Can I talk about this for a second? Can I be a little brave right now?
What's up?
Okay, so it is true that vaccines can kill your kid. That is true. And let me explain why. Because if you're
I know why. Yeah, it sounds surprising.
Well, like if you have an infant, and the things we get vaccinated for, there's like 40 different vaccines that you get. If you have an infant and your doctor doesn't really care all that much, and doesn't care enough to tell you that, hey, you should probably only get one vaccine per week for a total of about like 12 weeks, or you get like 2 at a time, right? Some doctors will just administer basically all 25 vaccines at once into like a newborn baby, and then the baby does end up having growth defects. But it's not the same thing as they cause autism. It's malpractice that causes autism.
Well, it's also malpractice that causes death, right? Like, that could be said for anything. It's just that if doctors are retarded...
In reference to vaccines, talking about. That's what people are getting their information from. It's not the vaccines, though. It's your doctor going, I don't want to see you once a week. Like, that's what's,
Well, but there was also that report, right, that came out that said that there was a correlation between vaccines and autism, but that report didn't factor in... it used faulty data and didn't factor in several other conditions that might be also the increase in autism. And then people said that there was another report that came out that said that there was an increased amount of autism along with an increased amount of vaccinations. Yeah, well, there was also an increased amount of population too. The proportion of autistic kids have remained the same throughout every single generation. Just there's more of them because there's a larger population, and people don't understand this.
No. I agree with you completely. Yeah. I was just saying vaccines.
No, I know. I'm not. Yeah.
That's all I was saying.
I'm not. Yeah.
So that's what I was saying.
Yeah, I know. I was understanding that. I was just going on a rant about those other retards.
So we're gonna talk about. All right. So since we all agree on that, what about? There's a thing called the tsunami bomb. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Do you know anything about this?
What is that? Can you give a little...
It's supposed to be a bomb that when dropped into the water explodes and causes a tsunami.
Who made this? Who are we saying made this, if it's real?
Who do you think?
Russia.
The Jews.
Try the ones who made the nuke.
Us.
Yes. Yeah, us.
See, but I don't necessarily. I don't understand to what.
Right, that's just a nuke.
Yeah, like I don't understand.
It explodes into the water. It makes a tsunami. I don't understand this.
In what context would you need a bomb like that? Right, like we have nukes. It's like what you're just gonna mildly like make everyone uncomfortable for months on end.
I think the thing is that you can give countries tsunamis without having anyone know you did it.
But that goes back to everyone has satellites. We know what goes on. The reason why spy planes don't work anymore is because like every country is so technologically advanced now that we understand. I mean, yeah, with modern technology, but if we were to take it like a spy plane from back in the 1940s, right? Whenever we didn't really understand this technology.
Well, there was no radar in the 1940s.
What are you talking about? Yeah, of course there was radar.
Only America had a radar.
And Britain.
No one else had radar.
No, hold on. And Germany. Germany had radar.
Germany didn't have radar.
Yeah,
Germany
they did.
Did not have radar.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they had radar, and that's why the British dumped a whole bunch of... what was it? Cardboard with metal on it into the God, what was that sea? Right off their border to try and trick the Germans into believing that they were moving their fleet over there in preparation for D-Day. Yeah, of course they had radar.
I don't think they did though.
Yeah.
I think America had better radar. I think that was it was newly developed because I know the depth charges were like a new thing that happened around 1942. Anyway, we're gonna move on. We're gonna go
Can we talk about the Titanic and how it was sank by the government?
Sure.
That's my favorite conspiracy.
Okay, we can go to that.
Do you guys know anything about that?
No.
Why would they sink a Titanic full of rich people? What was the point of that?
Just saying.
To acquire more land?
No, it's like a big insurance fraud is what I think it is. Let me explain what it is. Atlee, look it on your computer or something to make sure I'm saying this right.
Alright, that's
But basically, so we have the Titanic, right? And it's this massive, beautiful, extravagant vessel. A lot of people buy tickets, but then right before it's about to launch into sea or whatever, a bunch of famous people and the actual creator or one of the heads of the Titanic cancels their tickets. Pretty much not minutes before, but a few days before. And you have all these people cancel, and then you have why the heck would you continue driving sideways?
JP Morgan planned this disaster to kill his rivals.
Yeah.
The Titanic never sank? What?
No, the Titanic
sank. The Mummy's Curse doomed the Titanic.
Not that one.
Ship's number read backwards says no pope. What?
No, okay.
Anti-religion.
Pay attention. This is it. So, Titanic was sunk by J.P. Morgan to help create the Federal Reserve. On April 10, 1912, the Titanic, largest, most luxurious ship afloat, left Southampton, England, on her maiden voyage to New York City. Just before the launch, hundreds had canceled their tickets, including the owner of this prestigious vessel, J.P. Morgan, and many of his banker/industrialist friends. Inexplicably fitted with insufficient lifeboats, well able to survive a frontal collision with any obstacle, carrying the wrong color distress flags in calm seas and excellent visibility, the Titanic sideswiped an iceberg at 11:40 p.m. on the night April 14th and sank. So that's the one I'm talking about.
That is such mental gymnastics. The idea that JP Morgan would go through all this trouble just to sink the boat and kill hundreds of people along with the two enemies.
Wait a minute, Parker, think about it. Think about it, right? JP Morgan was watching who's the comedian that wanted to sink cruise ships?
Oh, Bill Burr.
Oh, that's Bill Burr.
Bill Burr. Yeah. He was watching a bunch of Bill Burr in the future, right? And he's like, I want to do that. And he did it.
I just love the thought process. It's he wanted to kill all of his enemies. It's okay, yeah, JP Morgan, had 3 guys who we might call enemies, and then the rest of them are just civilians?
It's to create the Federal Reserve.
To create the Federal Reserve?
Not enough lifeboats and wrong colored distress flags. Kind of sus.
Yeah, but that just sounds like incompetence to me rather than an active practice. If it was an active practice and he knew the Titanic was going down, why equip him with lifeboats or distress flags?
I think they had to give the illusion of the illusion.
They'd equip it with 1 distress flag and 1 lifeboat.
Him and also a lot of his friends canceled the ticket just a few days before.
Right, but why would the friends go on if JP Morgan wasn't going on to the boat?
No, his friends also canceled their tickets.
I know. What happens if JP Morgan goes, well, my wife got sick, I'm deciding not to go, then why would his friends still go if it was more along the lines of a business mean? No, I know, that's what I'm saying. That's the reason why they canceled. They were
boat of all time. I'm just saying that,
you have to admit it's a little suspect.
That's all I'm saying.
I don't believe it, right? But, that's...
it just seems...
You can just discredit that
Well, but it seems like a huge leap of faith, right? Like, I feel like there's so many other...
evidence that it is weird, though, right? You have to admit it's weird that it wasn't equipped with the proper amount of lifeboats and it didn't have the distress flags.
Well,
and that
sure,
JP
but
Morgan canceled his things. Okay, admit that it's weird. Just say that you're wrong a little bit.
What?
Right?
Wait, hold on. I never said it wasn't weird. I'm saying the leap of faith that you need to make to...
Then say it's weird.
To make it to the point where it's like he wanted to create the Federal Reserve because of that.
Shut up.
Doesn't make any sense.
I'm right.
There's so many other rational ideas.
Shut up. Say I'm right.
What? Like, what happens if he just got sick?
Say it's
and it was
weird.
like a business meeting, right?
Well,
then all
it's
of
weird. Just
what?
say it's weird.
Why equip it with lifeboats if it was going down?
Weird. Stop talking and just say it's weird. So we can move on. Say it's weird.
What? No.
It was weird.
Hold on, it's a coincidence. Yes.
It's a
weird coincidence. Yes. The events do not add up.
We're moving on.
Parker, hold on. Wait, really, just really fast.
Yeah.
The Titanic?
Yeah.
Totally could have handled a front collision, but it also got sideswiped, which, like, I don't know why anyone would do that.
Well, but that's the same argument of, oh, the towers could have totally handled, you know, planes crashing into it. That's what I'm saying, is everyone thinks, everyone overthinks, like, oh, yeah, my ship is gonna...
Well, I don't know if you know this, Parker.
Ships are designed to crash into icebergs.
Let me explain to you something, Parker.
Yeah.
There's a thing called a hull on a ship.
Yes. What happens when that hull is damaged?
They're designed not to be damaged. What they I don't know if you know this, but there's a thing called steel.
Yeah.
Right? And if you put a lot of it on the front of a ship, it can break ice.
Yes, but this was before modern developments in technology.
Ice breaking ships have been around since.
But the Titanic wasn't an ice breaking ship.
But I'm just saying, incredibly cold waters, Parker. Why would you not prepare to go through some ice?
Because the engineers were probably retarded.
Oh
you can't just. But they built the Titanic.
What?
Yeah,
a lot of retards build retarded shit. Have you seen a Scrub Daddy? Yes, a lot of retards build some retarded stuff.
All right, we're gonna move on to 9/11. Who did 9/11, Parker?
I mean, the Taliban.
Okay, who did 9/11, Booker?
Okay, hear me out.
George Bush Sr.
Oh no. How long is your answer gonna be? How long is your answer gonna be?
What?
I'm gonna take my answer first because mine's really quick. Shazam. Right.
Shazam.
You're so funny.
That makes so much sense. There's so much lightning on top of it, you know.
They said planes can't melt steel beams, but electricity can. Shazam
That's true.
Can.
That's true.
Shazam can melt steel beams.
I still think it was George Bush Sr.
That's what I was gonna say. But hold on, they kind of knew about this twin tower attack before it happened. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, they did. Yeah, they didn't tell the other facilities or the other agencies of what was going on.
Went, LOL, and then it happened. So.
Well, they were all competing over government funding, and so they were like, all right, well, if we know this information and CIA doesn't know this information, then we'll get more government funding. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Only with the expense of thousands of lives, it's fine.
Yeah, that's why it was George Bush Sr.
On artificial disease.
Maybe Ronald Reagan from the grave.
I think it was George Bush.
George Bush?
No, sorry.
George Bush Sr. George Washington.
What are your thoughts on artificial diseases like HIV? Do you think these are made by the government?
No. I think someone had sex with a monkey and then got AIDS.
Oh, this is actually interesting. Scientists have found that HIV was transferred from monkeys to humans.
Yeah, I know.
Evidence exists that the KGB deliberately disseminated the notion in the 1980s that it was invented by the CIA.
No.
What?
What happened?
No. What do you mean no?
No.
The KGB said the CIA made it to frame this thing on the CIA.
The KGB can suck my ass. All
you know
right.
what the KGB is?
Yeah, the Russia gonna get you.
It's the Russian CIA. It's the Russian CIA. What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm saying that the Russian CIA.
Yeah, he blames the American CIA.
Yeah, the American CIA can suck my ass too. Saying no. I'm just saying. We got it from monkeys. It's a transferred disease.
That's what they're saying. But then the KGB spread the notion that the CIA made it.
Well, the KGB, why wouldn't they say that?
What?
Why wouldn't they say that? It's just...
I don't know. I'm just saying that's interesting.
No, I'm not. I'm saying it's not interesting.
Oh, whatever.
I'm saying the KGB are a bunch of little twerps. Alright? And quote me. If my ass gets killed, put that on your conspiracy theory video, add it to the end of this one. But it's a transferred disease from monkeys. Someone got bit by a monkey, got AIDS, and then probably was like a cool scientist and fucked a bunch of bitches, giving everyone AIDS.
What do you think the Illuminati? What do you think of the Illuminati?
Like, I don't... That's a good question. What do I feel about this? I feel like it doesn't... I don't think this exists, but at the same time, like, something similar, I might, like, lean towards it. What's the evidence for the Illuminati?
Putin said there was something... He said when he became into power, some guys showed up with suits and tried to tell him what to do.
I think Putin is trying to fearmonger.
Yeah, I think that's... Well, that's the thing that he was like, and I said no to them. So, I don't know. I don't know, Parker, what are your thoughts on the Illuminati?
I think there's probably a group out there that meets every Wednesday with giant socks on their head and talks about how they're going to rule the world, and then it turns out they have no power whatsoever. They go back, right? They're all talking about how great, like they'll go in, they're like, oh yeah, I'm a senator, like, oh yeah, I'm this, and then they walk out of that room and they all go back down, and it turns out one guy's an accountant, the other guy lives down the street with his mother, right? Like none of them.
One guy's a furry.
Right, none of them have any power.
Well, I think I could see maybe big corporations working together. I wouldn't call it the Illuminati. I think it'd be pretty obvious. You know what I mean? But like, I can see like big corporations, pushing things. Like you see in Africa all the time, where big corporations will buy mercenary troops and take land and shit for oil and things like that. That's the thing that happens in Africa all the time. But I don't think that's like Illuminati. I just think that's just corporations using their wealth to bully things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that sounds about right. But they could be. Hold on, they could be Illuminati if they just wore giant socks on their heads. There we go. We fixed it.
Are you talking about the KKK right now?
What? No, those are hoods.
The KKK.
No, have you seen like old pictures of like what the Illuminati was supposed to be? It just looks like they have like giant socks on their head. That's it.
I thought you were talking about KKK.
No.
Because they got socks on their heads.
No, someone looked at their sock and was like, this would be perfect if I put it on my head, and I made everyone else who stepped in my house put it on their head, and then we talked about some really weird shit. Like, that was it.
Do you guys have any conspiracy theories that you think are true? I think aliens are true, and I think the government has them, but that's just my opinion.
Parker, anything you...
I mean, okay, so the two that I always was fascinated with, I think genetic editing at the governmental level in terms of just like for Like, there's probably a program where they genetically edit, a certain amount of kids, and then they train them for military use, right, or special ops use, or
Really, that came out of left field for Parker. I was surprised. That's surprising to me. Yeah, continue.
Well, that seems like rational.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that
that seems.
They do that in Halo. They kidnap children, replace it. They would take your child away. They replace it with a clone with the deadly disease that kills it.
Well, I mean, I don't even think it needs to be like at this point. I don't even think anyone needs to be kidnapped. I mean, we have the ability to take egg and sperm, right, and just
that's true.
And just like put it so like, I mean, all it takes is a government nation to go down to the local sperm bank, right, and just pick one out.
Like bodybuilder and
like I could see governments doing that. I know, there was already an article talking about how China has already started this policy of genetic editing. So it wouldn't, it wouldn't, surprise me. And then the second thing, I think, would be, I think, in terms of just like general conspiracy theory, I think that we are far more technologically advanced as a nation than we let off to be.
Yeah, I think this is the military, right? I think military.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been said that military is far more technical, but I think we're far more technologically advanced than we say we are, or we share with most.
Did you see the thing? They released a thing like 2 years ago saying they have a railgun, right?
I know, but there was
and then you should have a railgun, and then they're like, this should be on ships by 2020. But you could see ships out there; they already have railguns.
Yeah, right. Well, there was a video from like 2010 that my my chem teacher showed us. That was them testing out rail guns at that point, right? So the idea that like we didn't like in the test succeeded, so the idea that we didn't automatically just strap that to a boat and went out, right?
Well, and that video was probably from 2002.
Oh yeah, no, that video was released right by the government. It's not like they're showing off their technology. Yeah, no. So that's my two kind of main conspiracy theories.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If you guys could genetically modify your kids, would you? And if you would, what specifically would you do?
Oh hell yeah!
I would make him the perfect human being.
100%, I would.
I would make him a god among men. I make him like Thor Bjornsson, the guy that plays the mountain.
See, that's the correct answer. But some people will be like, "No, God, no! I would never do that." Like, but at the same time, it's like you're gonna see my kid, and he's gonna be so much fucking better than your kid.
Well, okay,
and then you're gonna wish you genetically modified your kid. My bitch is gonna be in the Olympics running faster than your kid.
I don't know. Maybe I just make sure he doesn't have any like terrible constriction disease.
I would say.
I think that's like my main thing.
I'd give him an intelligent 100.
No, I would say no until we've scientifically figured out what genes control what. Right,
Yeah,
because we still don't know. So if it's like, oh well, you could genetically edit your kid, but it's a huge like shot in the dark. It's like
theoretical, hun. This is as if we already know exactly what to do.
Yeah, if we know all the information, of course.
Do you think we've been to the moon more than once?
Well, yeah.
What?
Well, yeah. What are you talking about? They've run several missions to the moon.
No, people.
Yeah.
People have been to the moon.
Yeah.
Like America?
Yeah.
I thought America's only been to the moon once.
I was pretty sure they did a whole bunch of
No, I don't think at all.
No?
No. There were several moon landings by America.
Yeah.
There wasn't just one.
There was the first men to walk on the moon, but hold on. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so hold on.
Apollo 11 was the first land mission on the moon. There have been 6 unmanned U.S. landings onto the moon, and numerous. There have been 6 manned. Oh, there have been 6 manned U.S. landings between 1960 and 1972. Numerous unmanned landings,
Right.
From August.
So,
but we haven't been there since 1972.
You mean well?
Do you think we've been there since 1972?
No.
No, I don't think NASA had enough funding.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
our
You think
government
SpaceX
does
is on
not.
the moon?
Our government
No.
doesn't fund NASA and SpaceX enough. Not as much as they should. They should be giving them way more.
Do they fund SpaceX?
No.
They-
Well, they give them
No,
subsidies.
the government gives out these loans. The government gives like these loans, and they just go, here's some money. They do it to startups all the time.
Yeah, they give them a whole bunch of subsidies for
Yeah.
specific inventions and running, government missions. But yeah, no, I agree. I think NASA should be something that's more funded, more well funded.
Yeah, like okay, do you guys think okay, this is getting slightly political, but do you think they give too much money to the military?
Well, look, we're the world's police force.
Yeah, no, I would say no.
I think in order to keep that in that position of power that we're in, we have to have 20 times the. It makes sense why we give so much. You know what I mean? It makes sense to me.
I think so. I don't think we should just even have it, but I think 1 billion less maybe.
Wait, we even have the military?
Huh? No,
What?
no. Not have the funding. I don't want you to because some of this goes into I just think we should stop funding them all together. They get too much money.
Oh.
What are you talking about?
A lot of people feel that way.
That's world anarchy. That's how you cause world anarchy right there.
Look,
a lot of people think I think we give them about 500 million too much.
Yeah, I can get it. I think we should fund our space. I think the military should be a part of the space program.
Oh, I 100% agree.
I think they should get a cut. I don't think we should take away from the military. We just throw the space program into the military.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Well, no, because I kind of want independent. I want independent.
Why?
Well, if it's independent, babe, then it's not a part of the government.
I don't want just 100% of the information to be coming directly from the government. That's why, because I don't trust it.
Well, then the government funding has nothing to do with it.
No, because the government's they should be investing more money into these space stuff. That's what I'm saying.
SpaceX is doing pretty good.
Well, I like the idea. I like the idea of a whole bunch of private space companies competing to make a better space product, which is why I really like how and right now the only two competitors really are NASA and SpaceX, and the problem is NASA's not a private company.
And
right.
SpaceX is kicking its ass.
And SpaceX is kicking its ass. So I had hoped that Origin Blue and a couple other and Boeing, a couple other space industries.
Stuff, right?
No, they were trying to get space stuff up and running, but they completely failed. They went into, if I remember correctly, they went into bankruptcy on their space force.
They had the Boeing space plane. It failed.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating.
Oh, it's 3 hours ago. Wait, what? This happened just 3 hours ago. Okay, let's check this out. Boeing shows off Starliner parachute test after SpaceX hiccups. Oh, they're still doing stuff, Parker.
Okay. Yeah, but see, they're not. They're just not.
They're working with NASA though.
Okay. Yeah. See, it's just not as prevalent. And then Origin Blue was supposed to be something, but Origin Blue can't get off. Get off the ground. It was.
Yeah, because I would really prefer if there was some, because I just don't trust 100% of our space stuff being by our government.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it just doesn't feel right, because that's such information picking and choosing,
Mm-hmm.
It just sits like a really bad vibe. I'd say that our government should definitely be investing a lot of money into space. I think that's the place to invest.
Well, I think it's a really good strategic point. So I think if the military, if we lump the space kind of force into the military, then I think it would work out strategically for us, and it would be a huge asset rather than, NASA. And I think we would actually get stuff done, right? Because the military gets a whole bunch of stuff done.
Yeah,
versus...
that's what's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Because I wish people would talk about this kind of stuff versus oh, did you hear what our president tweeted?
Yeah, right. No, I agree.
That's one thing I get frustrated with. Is like, oh no, we won't get political. I'll shut my trap. I have a lot to go
Oh,
on.
was Origin Blue funded by Jeff Bezos?
Yeah, it's funded by Amazon.
Oh. This is 10 hours ago. Jeff Bezos unleashes the new Origin Blues Moonlander.
I know, he keeps trying to get more investors in his company, but he hasn't been able to successfully fly a rocket yet, which was SpaceX's biggest draw for investors. So until they do that, they're just not off the ground.
Also, SpaceX started doing it for like half the price.
Well, yeah, because it's a private company who's going to be able to do that. And on top of that, hold on, there was, reusable rockets, but there was a interview I was watching with this head of NASA, or he used to be a head of NASA. He had retired, and he had talked about how there were a whole bunch of scientists that came to him and said that they could possibly make reusable rockets, right? And they could start looking at designs and testing them out, right? Yeah. And he actively turned this offer down because he knew he was getting government money, and the moment that they made reusable rockets, then they wouldn't need as much government money, and they wouldn't be spending as much government money, so then they'd get less government funding, right? Because the government would start cutting him down. So he was just basically like, yeah, just send up those rockets and explode them in air, right? Use as much money as possible so that way we get more next year. And I was like, oh my God. No, like, it's a government organization. It's going to be really shabbily run with a whole bunch of wasteful,
frustrating, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's hard because that is how the world works,
Well, yeah, you can't
totally the right to feel that way because he needs to make sure he's getting his money. But also, SpaceX hasn't really had a lot of success, or like any success at all with reusable rockets, which is frustrating.
SpaceX?
No, SpaceX landed a couple of their rockets and were able to reuse parts.
No,
yeah.
You guys should look into it. That's kind of not 100% true. They were able to get pieces back. They were able to get technology back. But in order to revamp that technology, it's still an incredible amount of money.
Well, of course, yeah. They were going to like.
It's cheaper to just start over, is what I'm telling you. As of
right now, I don't know if that. Yeah, I don't know if that's true.
No, it is true. Look it up.
Okay.
I hope I didn't double down to be proven wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's true.
No, last time.
3-minute video.
Oh. Well, last time I had heard that they were able to reuse many parts. They just weren't able to reuse the full rocket because.
What by many parts? That's the it's a process. They are getting there, but they have been able to actually get stuff back,
right?
Which is way farther than anyone else has.
Right. No, I know. Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not as forward as people are kind of making it out to be. But at the same time, getting anything back from space is incredible. I'm not discounting SpaceX. I'm just saying they're.
Well, I'm sure like the news.
Way to go. They have a long.
Yeah, I'm sure the news is painted with rose-colored glasses because they're trying to get more investors in. Yeah, I'm sure that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
With that kind of stuff, it's just everything. It's so frustrating.
Well, no, but as we were saying beforehand, it's like you ask your parents for $10, and then you go to the supermarket every day and only use 5 of it, right? You can't come back like your parents go, oh wow, you only use 5 of it. Here, let me give you 5, right? Instead of giving you 10, right? So, I mean, it's just not. It wasn't a good system, and I'm glad that there's private companies now.
Yeah, me too. I hope there's like 10. I want like.
I know. I know. That's why I was so excited for Origin Blue, but it just doesn't look like they're.
Right here, SpaceX lands rocket at sea, makes history.
Yeah.
Elon Musk says SpaceX will use rockets within 24 hours.
Also, remember when Mars?
Oh, she's wrong, and so she's changing the subject. the Elon Musk was able to use the rockets.
Hold on, look into it, babe.
I am. I'm looking at them right now.
Look, what are you looking at? Like, can you? Hold on.
Wikipedia. I'm just saying.
Oh, no, let's see it. That's all I'm saying. Because I'm not on your ship right now. What'd you type in?
Yeah, see, to some extent... Hold on. To some extent, Booker and I are right, where they're only able to use pieces, right? Because on SpaceX's own website, it says, to date, a fully reusable vehicle is not, or has not been successfully developed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right, but it's only pieces, which is what I was saying too.
But it still saves money.
Yeah, no, of course, 100%. I don't think it costs more.
I was saying that people are painting it as if they kind of have it right now, or they have like 50% is even reusable, and it's not even that yet. So
we're gonna get there. We'll get there. We'll get a space elevator.
No, here's what we need to do. Here's the problem, right? We're spending way too much money on this fuel and trying to figure out reusable rockets. No, screw that. Start making a space dockyard up in space. We don't need any fuel to get off the ground. And
space elevator.
No, fuck that.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, you make a space dockyard up in space. Where do you build the rockets?
In space. You send them in pieces.
In pieces. Okay, so you're still building a bunch of rockets to build more spaceships. Why not just?
Yeah, but at the moment that you have it there, right? The moment that you have it there, of course you're gonna still build rockets and stuff like that.
Why not just shoot them from the land into space?
What?
Hold on, guys. I think how we're talking about Mars and like getting a settlement on Mars a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I think we should do a practice run on the moon first. That's my hot take.
Well, the moon doesn't have an atmosphere. Which
does Mars have Mars?
Yes, Mars has an atmosphere.
I just think it'd be way easier to just try everything out on the moon before we move to Mars.
Well, the idea with Mars is that you terraform so we can live on it. That's the whole idea.
Well, here's the stupid part, right? No, here's the stupid part. I would agree with you 100%. But we signed a treaty that said that space was basically the same as international waters, right? So nobody can claim...
That's gonna change.
Until it does, there's no reason that the United States should be going to and trying to set up a moon base. I think if we get rid of that, of course, the first thing that we need to do is set up a moon base. But until we get rid of that, no one else is interested in it because it's no longer a strategic spot, right? The only reason why we're interested in Mars is because Elon Musk said we should go to Mars. Because no nation can claim territory.
Go to Mars too. Donald Trump said within his presidency we're going to get to Mars.
But again, we can't claim it as our own, so it doesn't matter.
Didn't Obama say we were going to go to Mars too? Doesn't everyone say we're going to go to Mars?
I mean, it's big. It's something to get the base riled up. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to do this, but no.
Atlee, along with that, Mars. If the second we do get to Mars as our first layers or whatever, you have to live underground. So
yeah, because of the radiation.
Doesn't matter as much.
Yeah, because the atmosphere isn't very good there, but there is an atmosphere.
It's all carbon dioxide.
There's no ozone layer.
They should be doing a moon base. I'm just they should do a practice. How long can we live on the moon?
All right, hold on.
Only
Here we go. Ready? Do we ever think that we're going to reach light speed travel?
What? What does this have to do with Mars?
No. My question is because this goes into being able to go out and expand onto different planets, right? And if we don't reach light speed, we're not able to do that.
Very slow.
Right. It's generational ships. So my question to you guys is: do you think we'll be able to progress technologically that far?
One day.
I don't know. I don't know about this. The reason I'm objecting is because our bodies can't handle light speed.
That's fair. I think. Well, here's what I think. Right. I think our
physical bodies can't do it.
I think what we're discounting right here is wormholes exist, and I think that's I think that's what we're gonna use. I don't think we're gonna be able to travel past light speed. I don't think we're gonna be able to poke holes. into space. I think that's what we're gonna.
Maybe. I mean,
I
there's.
think that's what I think. I think that's more likely to happen.
Well, there are several ideas to try and harness the energy of black holes, right? Create a mini black hole, or there's another.
That's just a Dyson sphere. We have a sun right next
What?
to us.
No, 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 no. As a form of like as an engine, right? To create a tiny black hole and then basically put it at the back of your ship, and then
slingshot yourself.
Pretty much, yeah. And that would be the idea. There was another one to shoot nukes at the bottom or the back of your ship and just propel yourself that way.
Yes,
right.
I know all these are 3 ways.
No, I know, but I think the only way I think we're gonna get there is through the warp travel, right? Just through warp travel, because it's already mathematically possible. We just have to figure out. Yeah.
Travel to the warp.
No, not in 40K. No, warp travel is already scientifically possible, and you go faster than light because you're not actually moving anywhere, which is fantastic. But until we do that, we're not going to get anywhere in space, you know?
I think we're going to colonize. I think we're going to colonize Venus. I think we're going to colonize Mars, and I think we're going to colonize like the ones around Jupiter.
I hope we don't colonize Venus. It's going to be too hot there.
Or the one around Jupiter.
Oh, Titan?
Spin though. Yeah.
Titan is the water planet, or the water moon. That's.
I think we can do that.
I love Neptune. Gosh, I think it's incredible. Like they're like water.
I love Uranus.
Hey, that's my girlfriend right there.
Parker.
We've been over this, Parker.
God.
Oh no.
How about we send our trash into space?
No.
Oh, I agree with that. Yeah, get it out of here. Get it out of here.
Futurama thing. We'll do the Futurama.
Put it on a rocket and send it flying.
Yeah. As long as it doesn't end up in our gravitational pull.
We don't pull a Wally.
You know, then we're good.
As long as we don't pull a Wally.
Or our Futurama where it goes all the way around Pluto and swings back.
Yeah. Which was funny. Alright, well I think that's about an hour.
It is. So if you want to wrap it up.
Well, thank you for listening to the Shut Up I'm Right podcast. This has been your host, Atlee Pollock, and your other host, Parker Onks.
Hello!
And our guest today was Booker Holloman. She did do the art for...
I'm an artist.
Can we call this art?
Hey. You gave me how much time?
Yeah.
You had like 20 minutes.
Parker, when's our art ever good?
I know.
Anyway, you can follow us on YouTube. Hit that subscribe and like button.
Oh my God.
We have a Twitter, but we don't post on it, and it got banned, so don't actually look at that. We have a Patreon if you want to give us $1 or something. We use all of it to just put right back in the podcast, get some better mics, get some better recording equipment. So yeah, thank you guys for listening, and bye.